Welcome back to another day in the life of a reseller vlog. Today is Thursday, April 11th, 2024. How are you guys doing out there? My name is Brian Kingsbury. I'm a full-time reseller. I have two eBay stores, one with over 4,000 items, one with just shy of 2,000 items. And this morning we're going to check those orders. We got a few orders coming into the big store. Let's take a look and see what sold. There you see it. We got 3 orders for $38.66. So 3 orders for $38.66. Let's take a look and see what sold. First item sold for $16.55. It's a vintage 1953 Ford V8 and 6-cylinder car owner's manual. 1953 owner's guide. So I remember that manual because it came in a junk drawer that I bought, a junk drawer lot. I purchased that lot with the purpose of reselling it online. Bought that and listed it January 6th, so it took a little while to sell, but we sold that one. And typically we pay between $20 and $30 for junk drawer lots, so we're making that much money off of one item. Pretty much pays for that lot. And so when you're buying a lot for say $20 and you list about 10 items and one item sold for $16.55, you can see what kind of profit you can make on one of those ventures. If you get the right stuff in it and there's stuff worthy of listing individually, you can really make quite a profit on that endeavor. Second item sold for $8.95. It's an O'Reilly Auto Parts orange and black baseball hat, one size fits all snapback. So that was another online arbitrage purchase. I bought a lot of hats, a bunch of hats, and I usually get them between $2 and $3 buy cost. This was probably a less desirable hat, so I didn't really mark it up too much. Just wanted to get rid of it and move it on, make a little money on it, and make the profit off the other items. So this one sold pretty quickly. Yeah, we listed that one on just February 18th. Here it is April 10th, and it already sold. So you price it right and it definitely will move on to a next customer. I'm not making a lot of profit on that one, obviously, but again, not a very desirable hat. And the buy cost was around $2, so we are making some money. Third item sold for $13.16. $13.16 for this. It's a John M. Ford How Much for Just the Planet hardcover Star Trek book, keyword novel. So that was one of the books from the Star Trek unit I did. I bought a storage unit in Everett, and it had all kinds of Star Trek collectibles in the back of the unit. Didn't look like much of a unit. We got in there and discovered it had all kinds of action figures and books and collector plates and everything. So just about everything Star Trek you could have ever wanted, it was in there. I spent a lot of time listing up those books, and they've been steadily selling. So another hardcover book out the door. The profit on these books isn't huge, but you know, there were so many that you're making your money in volume on this. So that's what we had to do, list those books up. I started listing them individually, and I did list the nice hardcover books like that individually, and then the paperback books I ended up lotting them up in lots of 3 and 4. And those have mostly sold at this point. There might be a few more in my stores, but pretty good profit to be made on that unit, considering we didn't pay, what, I think $100 for the entire unit. So that was one of those storage units that you made out on. You definitely profited a lot on that unit. Alright, I'm going to go locate those 3 items. We'll get some shipping labels printed, and then we'll check out the small store and see what kind of orders we had out of the small store. I do have a stack of DVDs I've been working through. I took photographs of everything last night, and I do have a couple pair of athletic sneakers that I've yet to list, so I'm going to get busy on that as well. And as you guys saw on the calendar, today is tax day, so I'm getting my information gathered, getting that stuff printed out and ready for the tax person so that we can get done with that and move on with this venture. Alright, there they are, 3 orders, and here come those shipping labels. Let's get these printed so we can get these out in the mail. Alright, we got those orders printed. Let's add them to the tote. You see it? An empty tote needs some orders to go to the post office. We got 3 ready for it. Let's get it filled up. And a 1, 2, and 3. So now that I got the big store orders filled up, I thought we would log into that small store. We'll see what kind of action we had in that small store, see what kind of orders we got, and I'll let you guys know what sold. Alright, no new orders out of this small store. It looks like no new orders, but we do have one order that is waiting payment. I'll go ahead and show it to you guys. Just a small order, a little hat order. Here it is, sold this one for $9.15. We sold it on the 8th, here it is the 11th. They still haven't paid, so I'm not sure what the deal is, but we're waiting on payment on this one. A little USC Trojans, a burgundy red and yellow snapback adult baseball hat. It did have a few stains, so that's why it sold so cheap, but maybe they don't want it. Who knows? We'll wait and see a few days more. If they don't pay, then we'll have to relist it. So that happens from time to time. People will buy something and not realize it has some flaws. The flaws will be listed in the description, and they just don't read it. And then they win the thing, then they look at it and they realize, oh, it has stains, and they don't want it anymore. Instead of messaging you, they just forget about it, and then you got to end up relisting it. So hopefully that's not the case with this one. They just are holding off on payment for some reason or another. I'll go ahead and shoot them a message and see what's up, since it has been a few days. Sometimes you got to kind of watch those things and make sure to stay on top of things so that people do send payment in a timely manner. Alright, we got all the tax information printed. We got the sandwiches ready, and we're going to watch a little YouTube, then it's off to visit Mr. Tax Person. Yeah, it's always a little bit stressful come tax season, but I got the paperwork ready, and hopefully everything goes smooth. We'll give it all to them, let them sort it all out, and hopefully we can answer any questions they might have, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Going to have these sandwiches, and then we'll head off there when we're ready. I do have a couple DVDs down here that I'm working on getting listed. We got George Carlin, obviously the famous comedian that passed recently. It's Bad For You. That's his routine, his comedy. And then we have Dr. No, James Bond 007. This is kind of a cool older version. I don't know if I ever saw Dr. No, but it might have been before my time. But it has all the characters and stuff on there, so might be a good one to watch. Here's the last one. We got Shiloh Falls. Looks like some sort of western. Shiloh Falls. Looks to be a pretty decent movie, whatever it is. And after that, we got the Jordans, and we got the Flights. We got the athletic shoes I've been working through. A couple pair of those. So that's what I'm going to work on getting listed later, but first I'm going to devour these sandwiches. Got to fuel up to keep this brain and body running, right? Alright, just made it back from the tax person, and got our taxes done. Another year done and over with, so we don't have to worry about that. Probably going to have a little bit of dinner, then I'll get in that photo station, find some more items to list, probably a couple more pair of high-end sneakers, and maybe a few more DVDs. Just work through those DVDs. Got to try to get those listed. That was kind of a quick and easy item out of the last unit that I can just focus on listing. So that's the plan, to get that stuff photographed and ready to be listed. Get some more of it photographed tonight, and we can begin listing and continue in the morning with more of that. Alright, I got the DVDs and the sneakers listed. Let me show you the last few listings that have gone up into the big store. Here's a look at those last 8 listings. As you can see, we got a couple pair of Nikes here. I listed those up a little bit higher than normal. $149.97 for those. There were some comps up there in the upwards of $200, over $200, so I put mine a little bit middle of the road. We got those movies on the online. Shiloh Falls, the 007, and Dr. No. We got that George Carlin listed, as well as My Cousin Vinny and Mr. Bean, the double feature, as well as a pair of Jordan 1 mids, $99.97, so just under that $100. So there's a look at the last 8 listings, some good high quality stuff. So it's about 8:30 now, just finished with dinner. I think I'm going to get into that photo station and take some more photos, get that stuff ready to be listed. Of course, I'll show you guys what we plan to list tonight and tomorrow morning. Again, more sneakers, more DVDs, no real surprise there, but that's what we have, that's what we're working through. We might add some clothing to the mix as well, since we do have a lot of clothing that we got out of these storage units. and some of it's sitting out there ready to be photographed as well. So I'll get busy taking some of those photos and show you guys what we have planned. Alright, I want to thank everybody for watching this video. We've come to the end of it. Congrats, you've made it all the way. Kind of a slow day today. We did taxes was the big chore for the day, so we got that out of the way. Now we can focus on making some new money for the new year. Well, we're well into the year, obviously, but seems like doing taxes always allows you to realize that you can just change things up a little and make a little bit of extra money. It doesn't take much to add a little to your bank accounts, and end of the year when you come around next year to do the taxes, you see that right there in front of you. So kind of a reminder midway, well, quarter into the new year, to do that, you know, to put that extra effort in, and it can really pay off. But I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.